Hello again. Welcome back. Now today I have been looking at the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, a classic children's fairy tale. You might know this one. And today I've got some of the finger puppets from Puppets by Post. So we're going to use these today to tell our story. Are you ready? Let's get comfortable. Once upon a time, there lived a boy called Jack and his mother and their cow, Daisy, and they all lived together on a farm. But they were very, very poor. They had no money and nothing to eat, and it was a very sad time for them. So, one day, Jack's mother told Jack that he must go to the market and sell their cow Daisy, just for a little bit of money, so that they could eat. Well, it was Jack's best friend. He didn't really want to sell Daisy, but he had to go to the market because he knew it was the right thing to do. And so, him and his cow Daisy set off, not very happy, up the road to the market. And very soon, along the way, they were met by an old man. He looked quite funky, maybe like a wizard or something. He wore a funky hat and a cape, and he spoke in a funny voice. And he asked Jack where he was going. "Well, I'm just going to the market to sell my cow so that we can buy some food," replied Jack. Well, the old man thought that he might be able to help Jack. "I will give you some magic beans, and in exchange you will give me your cow, and that way you will never be hungry again." Well, Jack thought this was a brilliant idea, and so he decided yes, it was a very good deal. They shook on it at once, and Jack took the bag of magic beans and immediately ran home, very, very excited. "My mother is going to love these magic beans," he thought, and he couldn't wait to get home to show her. Well, as much as Jack was very pleased with himself, his mother was not. As soon as she saw the magic beans, she was furious. There was no money, just a bag of old beans. "Oh, you stupid boy! Oh, how could you do this to us?" she said, and she was absolutely furious. She took the bag of the magic beans and threw them out of the window. And so they were never to be seen, or so she thought, ever again. Hang on a minute. Can you hear something? There's a noise. It's like a magical noise. Where's it coming from? Can you see? The tree? No. Is it coming through the camera? No. Oh my goodness! It's coming from the teapot. Wow. Well, maybe the teapot is magical. Oh, maybe it wants us to put our magic beans inside the teapot. Brilliant idea. Okay, let's put them inside the teapot, and then maybe we should do a magic spell so that it's a really magic teapot. Into the teapot they go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now let's start by shaking the teapot really fast. Okay, shall we blow on it? Ready? Even you at home? And then maybe we should say abracadabra. Ready? After 3. 1, 2, 3. Abracadabra. Oh, 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 look! Wow, something magical is happening. Oh, oh, oh. Let's take a look inside. Wow, that's real magic. Well, I never. That is a real magical teapot. We've grown our very own beanstalk. Wow! Well, just like our magical beanstalk, Jack woke up in the morning and found that there was the most enormous green beanstalk that had grown higher and higher and higher right outside of his bedroom window. And he could not believe his eyes. Immediately he jumped up, went out of his house and began climbing up the beanstalk, which reached all the way to the sky and the clouds. Ready? Let's climb the beanstalk, everybody. And when he got up to the top of the beanstalk, he couldn't believe his eyes even more so when he saw that there was a gigantic castle. Wow! Well, he was feeling quite brave as he'd just climbed his very own beanstalk. So off he went to the door of the castle. And he saw that the door was about 10 times the size of him. Should we draw it, everybody? Wow, a massive door. What colour could it be? Maybe blue? Colour in your door and let's draw a door handle with a knocker on. There we go. Ready, everybody? Because Jack knocked on the door very bravely. Well, when the door opened, he was greeted by the biggest gigantic woman he had ever seen. It was a giant. He was in giant country. How exciting. She said, "Well, come in quick and you can have some food, but be careful not to wake my husband. He eats human beings." Oh, well, Jack slid under the door, ran as fast as he could into the kitchen, and he had some lovely giant food. But then he heard the sound of some giant footsteps. And the whole ground began to shake as the giant started walking into the kitchen. Quick, everybody, hide! He hid under the table and he heard the words of the giant. "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." Well, the giant sat down at his big giant chair, began counting all of his money like the greedy giant he was. And then, very soon after, he fell asleep. Well, this was Jack's chance. He leapt out from under the table, climbed up the table, and took the sack of gold coins from the giant. Shh! He ran out of the castle, slid under the door, and then climbed down the beanstalk. And when he returned home, His mother was so excited that he had brought some money, and they lived off it for quite some time. But of course, the Beanstalk stayed living by Jack's bedroom window. And so, in a few weeks' time, when they'd spent the money, Jack decided he would climb up the beanstalk again. So off he went, up the beanstalk, and ready to go and find some new adventures. The giant woman let him in again and gave him something to eat, which was very nice of her. He slid under the door again, and into the giant's kitchen, where he hid under the table again. But then came the deafening noise of the ginormous, angry, greedy giant. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread. And once more, the giant sat down with a thump, began to count all of his money, and then soon fell asleep again. Well, this was Jack's chance again to have a look round and see what else he could maybe take home with him. And he saw a magical goose, and the goose laid a golden egg. And so, as quick as he could, he put the golden goose on his back. There we go. And then off they went down the beanstalk with the golden egg. And Jack's mother was extremely pleased this time. But Jack knew he must go and visit one more time to the giant. And so he climbed the beanstalk one last time. He got to the top, was greeted by the old giant lady, slid under the door, and went and hid under the giant's table. This time he could see there was a golden harp playing beautiful music. Who knew that giants love music, eh? And he waited for the giant to come in and fall asleep.
Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread.
And of course, as he always did, he started counting his money and soon fell asleep. And so, for the very last time, Jack took the golden harp and he began taking it with him out of the kitchen. And that was when the giant woke up. Oh no, Jack ran as fast as he could. He tried to go under the door and nearly got stuck. He climbed down the beanstalk. But the giant was catching up with him. His feet were coming from the beanstalk all the way down. Ah! And then, as quickly as he could, Jack jumped down from the beanstalk and called for his mother. "Mother, mother, go and fetch the axe! Quickly! As quick as you can!" And with that, just as the giant nearly caught Jack, Jack whipped out his axe. He cut the beanstalk down. And as the beanstalk fell back down again, the giant was no longer able to come and get Jack. And so he had to climb all the way back up the beanstalk, and he was never to be seen again. Meanwhile, Jack and his mother were able to buy back Daisy, and they were very, very rich and able to eat as many lovely, delicious, healthy meals as they could, and they never had to worry again. The end. Thank you everybody for watching our story. We really hope you enjoyed it today. And remember, if you'd like to see more, you can watch us next time for a different story or a different adventure. See you soon! So, when I told the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, I used the story set, which comes with the book, all of the finger puppets, and even the beanstalk as well. But you don't have to use just the story set to tell the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. We've got lots of different toys and puppets that you can use from all of the different ranges. So let's take a look. There's lots of different puppets that you could use to tell the story as Jack. Now you've got this boy here, and you pop your hand in the back of it and you move his mouth. There's also lots of other boys which we can take a look at now too. Now we've got some wizards here that you can use to give Jack his magic beans. So this is our glove puppet wizard here. You just pop your hand in and away you go. Or if you want to use a smaller one to go with the story set, we've got this little one here, which you just pop your finger in the top there and he can do his magic. So this goose is perfect to use as the magic goose that lays the golden egg, and it comes out of the basket. Or, if you really want to use your imagination, why not get Jack to fight off some dragons while he's fighting the giant?